Welcome to Canada News Now Live, your trusted source for the latest updates across Canada and the world. It's Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, and we begin today with major developments in education, the economy, and international diplomacy, plus a look at how global events are shaping the week ahead. Here are today's top stories. In Alberta, more than 51,000 teachers have officially walked off the job, launching one of the largest education strikes in Canadian history. The Alberta Teachers Association says educators are demanding higher pay, reduced workloads, and smaller class sizes, following years of inflation and funding shortfalls. The strike has closed over 2,000 schools and disrupted learning for nearly 730,000 students. Education Minister Danielle LaGrange called the strike disappointing, but says negotiations remain open. Union leaders, however, insist that progress has stalled. Parents across the province have expressed frustration, with many calling for temporary online learning options or government mediation. The strike is now entering its second day, and education experts warn it could extend for weeks if no resolution is reached. In Niagara Falls, Marineland has ignited nationwide outrage after reportedly threatening to euthanize 30 beluga whales unless it receives emergency funding from the federal government. Officials at Marineland claim the park is running out of resources to care for the animals and that a rescue plan is urgently needed. Ottawa, however, has refused financial aid, citing ongoing investigations into animal welfare violations and the park's controversial history. Animal rights groups, including Humane Society International, have condemned the threat as a cruel and manipulative tactic. They're urging the government to relocate the whales to a marine sanctuary in Nova Scotia, a plan already under discussion since 2022. Public reaction online has been intense, with the hashtag #JosquesSave the Whales Canada trending on X, formerly Twitter. Canada's latest trade data shows a widening deficit of $3.8 billion, driven by sharp declines in gold and lumber exports. Economists say U.S. tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber have cut shipments by nearly 12% in the past quarter, while falling global gold demand has hit mining revenues hard. As a result, analysts now predict a 60% likelihood that the Bank of Canada will cut interest rates at its October meeting to stimulate exports and prevent a slowdown. Housing affordability remains a major concern, with the average home price now $748,000 nationally, up 4% from last month, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Washington, D.C. today meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. The two leaders are expected to discuss cross-border trade, energy cooperation, and the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Carney's office says the goal is to ensure a fair and balanced trade relationship amid growing U.S. protectionism. Political analysts say this meeting could help stabilize relations that have cooled since Trump reintroduced tariffs on Canadian aluminum earlier this year. Canada's international education sector is facing new challenges. Only 30% of student visa applications have been approved in 2025, a dramatic drop from nearly 60% 2 years ago. The government attributes this to tighter housing availability and fraud prevention measures, but universities warn the policy could cost billions in lost tuition revenue. According to Universities Canada, more than 150,000 qualified students have been denied entry this year, leading some institutions to cut programs or freeze hiring. Today marks 2 years since the Hamas attacks on Israel that triggered the 2023 Gaza war. Ceasefire negotiations continue in Cairo, led by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States. Israel insists on the release of remaining hostages before agreeing to a full ceasefire, while Hamas demands a complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from northern Gaza. The UN estimates that over 34,000 people have died since the conflict began, with 2.2 million civilians still displaced. Global leaders are calling for renewed humanitarian aid and long-term stability in the region. China has unveiled a new K-visa program allowing foreign STEM graduates and researchers to live and work in China without a job offer. Experts say the visa is part of Beijing's strategy to compete with Western countries in artificial intelligence, green energy, and biotechnology. It's also seen as a response to tighter U.S. immigration rules under the Trump administration, particularly around H-1B visa restrictions. The OECD's 12th Forum on Green Finance and Investment is underway in Paris, bringing together policymakers, investors, and sustainability leaders from more than 60 countries. The event aims to accelerate funding for low-carbon technologies and climate-resilient economies. Canada's delegation, led by Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, is expected to present new proposals for green infrastructure investments and carbon pricing cooperation. The International Monetary Fund is set to release its October World Economic Outlook next week, and early reports indicate a weaker global growth forecast. Rising tariffs, geopolitical tension, and high interest rates are weighing on business confidence. The IMF projects global GDP growth at 2.4%, down from 3% earlier this year. Finally, in science news, astronomy enthusiasts are preparing for the Draconid meteor shower, expected to peak on October 8th and 9th. While most of the meteors will be faint, scientists say radar detection could capture one of the strongest Draconid events in decades. Best viewing times are just after sunset in the Northern Hemisphere. And that wraps up your top stories for today, October 7th, 2025. From labor disputes to global diplomacy and the latest in science, we'll keep following these developments as they unfold. For continuous updates, visit our channel or follow us on social media and Canada News Now Live. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a story that matters.